What's up, guys? Welcome to Doslinear Gaming, and welcome to part 8 of the Line of Sight series for Six Siege, the board game. Today we are here on Coastline. So this almost is going to become another setup strategy guide, this time for the defenders, but there are a few attacker spots that are still worth noting, and still some attacker combos that I'll mention as well. So first we're going to kind of look at it from the defender side. So if you bring in a Rooney and a Tachanka, because both of them are going to be your best bets for long range. You will be able to hold this long angle that reaches all the way out into their spawn. You will want to put a bulletproof shield here, as we'll show later. But then you can see basically everything that matters in this room. You cannot see once they reach this top row. But everything in these middle rows other than this corner. So all of this you can see. So whether they rotate from single wall or doorway, you've got this covered. You will not be able to see this bottom half of the double wall, but that's okay because the bomb's up here. In this setup guide, you will kind of want the bomb up here and in this room, as your defense is going to be mostly focused in this area. So you will be able to cover once they enter in and try to get next to the bomb spot in that position, but obviously you will continue to not have line of sight. But from this position, you are also able to hold anybody who enters breach. And if you really wanted to, you could just start in this corner instead. And not only could you hold breach, but you could also hold just outside of breach. So anybody who breaches and decides, okay, it's time for me to move in, it's going to step here and take a no cover shot from you, which will probably just end up killing them. Otherwise, if they decide to keep pushing in, thinking that this doorway is going to clip, it does not. You'll have line of sight, and then you can rotate back to your normal default position afterwards. So there's that. But the other interesting position to note, which you will also probably want another bulletproof shield for, is going to be right here between all these walls. And now you'll be overwatching into the wall, which might be a little telling, but in doing so you will be able to hold both anybody who decides to enter from this top bathroom area, and you will also be able to hold anyone who decides to enter from this bottom area. So in this scenario, breaking these three walls during setup is pretty recommended, and then maybe you have one of your defenders, whether it's a Rooney, Tachanka, or whoever, break this wall later on. And with these four walls open, you can just kind of hold everything, honestly. So from here, again, you're holding this space, and then you will also hold if they approach the wall. Typically in this setup, you'll reinforce this wall though, and then you'll bring a bandit, and that will really just kind of deny them these spaces entirely. And then that kind of allows your Rooney to hold a lot longer. But once they actually break these defenses, then Tachanka or whoever you have here will be able to start taking shots. You will need to be aware of this strip down here, but there's plenty of ways that you can deal with that. That's kind of the main lines that you have here on defense. Another noteworthy one to mention, sorry, not that. You can actually see all the way from here, this back table spot, you can see all the way back and also hold this entrance to the top room here. And then just to note as a defender, if you do want to sit on this table, you actually have line of sight to catch all the way out to this spawn point spot, as well as anybody who steps in. So there are a lot of different options on this map to try to hold this top bathroom area. Shifting focus to the attackers, I mean, we've kind of covered from back here. You can see out from this position. You can obviously see everything in these two rows until you hit behind the wall, clearly. You will also be able to hold this drop down. You will not be able to see once they reach the bomb from here, but again, you could hold this doorway and this drop down. So some options on attack if you are able to take this position and hold it. Otherwise, from over here, you will be able to see, not only anybody who pushes you here, you'll be able to see anybody on both sides of the single wall. I believe you will also be able to see anyone, yeah, there it is, on this side of the table. But if you have a jackal on your team, and anyone decides to drop this entryway space, you'll be able to shoot them through both of these walls. So another something to note, Jackal's very interesting to set up these kind of entryway space denials just because they would immediately get pinged and immediately get shot. One more note down here, depending on how you set up, as long as it's closer than this, you can catch anybody who is sitting in this corner. Do note real fast for newer players that these walls here are just for artistic purposes. They do not provide cover. You are still fully exposed out here, so you may need to lean from further back in order to get cover. But that's all that I have for you guys when it comes to Coastline. Let me know what I missed, and I'll catch you guys in part 9.